Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz Sini, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Spiritual Awakening podcast with Shaz. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the funny things going on out there in the spiritual world. And many people that I talk to daily and throughout just everyday life on social media, in person, and catching up with people are all talking about the gurus out there on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok telling you the way it is with spirituality. But a lot of what they're teaching you is actually what we call spiritual bypassing. To become really spiritual after your awakening process, to step into the power, to really attune to the frequency, the vibration of who you are, line up with your higher self and step out into the world as the spiritual essence of who you are, takes a lot of work, a lot of healing work, a lot of understanding, review, and consideration for your soul and its role in this society that we live in. Everyone shows up online and they just turn around and go, oh, if you just do this one thing, everything will be perfect. One thing can change your life. One thing can do that. One thing can do this. But it's not actual fact. Yes, these tools and tips and techniques will help for the interim, but the spiritual work is deeper work than that. It's not surface level. It's not a magic pill that you can take and all of a sudden you're totally connected, everything's working in your life, you manifest greatness, you heal all the wounds, you let go of all your trauma. It doesn't work that way. This is what I call the difference between authenticity and just the spiritual hype. There's so many people or gurus out there that tell you, oh, if you just do this one thing, it will clear all your problems. Today I was scrolling and there's a guy telling you, just watch this one video and I will stop all your procrastination. Good luck with that. It's just not that easy. There are underlying layers to each aspect of your own inner healing and to what you're doing for yourself in this world. We want to be authentic. That means being real. And sometimes you have to feel the feels. This past week has been very hard because some of my dearest friends are going through some tragic and torment in their life with people suffering. And that, honestly, it breaks your heart. It makes you sad. It makes you feel horrible. Not only for them, but as an empath, sometimes I'll absorb that and process that for them and wanting to uplift someone and helping them see the brighter side of the other side of the coin. I even know throughout my own journey, when I lost everything at the beginning, the despair that you're in, it's really hard to see out the other side in that moment. But we forget to feel the feels. We bypass it. We bottle it down. We become the rock we need to be for everybody else. We don't worry about our feelings. We just show up for them. But in doing so, we actually hurt ourselves. And it's that bottling down of emotion and not going through the process of it, feeling it, exhibiting all the symptoms of it. And that means crying, screaming, shouting, railing, being angry, being accusatory, just railing at God, the world, or whatever you need it to be, matters. So many people don't do that. They just go, oh yeah, it'll be okay. We don't move on from death or heartbreak or hardship or loss or deep emotional tragedy in instances, but you're also not meant to wallow in it. There is a bigger picture out there, and there's so much more essence to it all than we give ourselves credit for. There's so much glittery hype out there. There's so much amazing. Oh my God, I did this one thing and it changed my life and now I'm a millionaire. No, they didn't. There's years behind that story of instant success. There is no such thing as instant fame, instant money, instant healing. It takes time. And time is the essence of it all, right? That time to understand yourself, to revisit it, reassess it, understand the lesson, the growth of it. Because when you don't give it that time and truly understand what it's teaching you on that greater level of the spiritual perspective of your whole soul, all that happens is you get into what I call the rinse and repeat cycle. And whether it's a month, a year, or 10 years down the track, your soul's going to send you that same lesson again so you get it right the next time. There's so much confusion and doubt out there with people. They don't know why they don't feel as calm or as enlightened as other people. They don't know why they're not as abundant and things don't come as easy to them. They feel that life happens to them, that everything just goes wrong. Part of that's a mindset. It's about what you're thinking about throughout life that brings that about, but it's also the deeper levels of healing that you haven't understood the lessons behind what you were there to grow and evolve from. In the spiritual world, we have a lot of phrases that are really taken for granted, and especially the love and light factor. People use it. Oh, love and light at the end of an episode where they've just denigrated you and destroyed you. That's not love and light. That's not true compassion. It's not empathy. It's not understanding. But love and light is just a literal message that says love to you and light in all things. It's a blessing from God. It's like a Christian prayer at the end where we say amen, or and so it is, so be it, blessings be. All of these are just energy phrases that are sending love, light, beauty, acceptance, and joy to people. But it's so often used in the wrong way. And then you get all the people on the bandwagon that want to go around and say, oh my God, that's so woo-woo. They're just up in they don't even know what they're talking about. And no, spirituality is not woo-woo. We connect with real energy, real beings to make real healing. We help you let go of what was to come to understand what is right now and to move on and live in life. And today I want to share some of the aspects of what real healing looks like. Okay, there's a massive explosion in the world around spirituality right now. The world is literally waking up and it's all fantastic. But the dark night of the soul, quite frankly, sucks ass. It is shit. It is heartbreaking. It is hollow. It is so empty. Most times when you go through it, a lot of people do literally want to die. They think the world is ending. But it is the greatest breakthrough that you'll ever go through because you'll never think or feel the same ever again. It is amazing. It's not just about good vibes and a 5-step or a hack manifestation trick or, oh my God, take these 5 steps and you'll heal everything instantly. It's about layered progression. Some of the things that you have to learn are about this particular life, but many of it is about past life, ancestral aspects of your own lineage, past lives and different aspects of your own soul's journey. It can be this life. It can be absorbed information from other family members. It can be any aspect of that. And as the spiritual being that is waking up in this reality right now, you are going to be taking on things and processing things to heal that aren't even your own. And you know what? Hardly anybody ever talks about it. Okay? We just talk about all the good vibes or just do this one thing and everything will be okay. And it's not. Yes, we move on. Yes, we live through hardship. Yes, we survive horrid things. And we always do. The only non-survival aspect of things is death, but the soul doesn't really die. It just moves on and it will reincarnate into something different, depending on what you choose in the next life or however you want to go along. There's so much value in the different tools out there, the guidance and the energy work when it is given from the right place and with a greater understanding. You don't magically wake up one day and think, oh my God, I can do everything and my world is now perfect. It's not like that. It's a great aesthetic, but it's a really bad filter to live through. We don't live through the eyes of love and light, everyone. Everything's okay. You can do whatever you want. And I wish you love and light, and it doesn't hurt me. Yes, it still hurts. We still get triggered. We still have problems that we have to uncover. And trust me, when you get into the deeper healing work, we are a massive onion. And I don't know how fucking big my onion is, let me tell you. You peel back one layer and another one sprouts in its place. But you build back those layers. You overcome them. You understand them. You gain the lessons. You gain clarity in self. You gain new parts of who you are, new features, new identities. You become exactly who you're meant to be. But it has to be real and authentic. You can't go around with a smile on your face and go, oh my God, everything's fantastic on the outside while on the inside you're falling to pieces. Sometimes we have to show up in that badness, because if you don't and you bottle shit down, all that comes out in the end is anger. You become a volcano for the first trigger that goes off, and usually the person that you poorly express your anger to is the least person in the world that deserves it. It's usually the one person that does you wrong. A lot of it shows up in road rage. Okay, you get cut off in traffic and, oh my God, you're going off on a tangent and yelling and screaming at the person that cut you off or didn't let you in or beat their horn at you, whatever it may be, or took that parking spot. They're not actually the source of your anger. They're just the outlet for it. Usually because the source of your anger is somewhat yourself, but we don't want to take personal responsibility for that. There are a lot of spiritual people out there that are just putting on perfect backgrounds and amazing things and telling you life is wonderful without telling you the peaks and the troughs that they go through, the roller coaster ride. This week, as I said, I've been through a roller coaster ride, and it feels even harder at times because I know that it's not my own emotional aspects, but I'm helping transition and help people and doing a lot of healing work on the etheric fields and all of the different planes to help my dearest friends and my family and those people that matter the most to me. And that's when you step into true spirituality, where you start processing this stuff for other people. And it's wearing and it's tiring. But all I've done is given myself grace, and my body decided it needed rest. So for the last 2 days, I've not done a whole lot. I've just given myself time for that time out, for the body to process things, to send the healing where it needs to be, and to shed the layers and let go of that outer aspects that are not helping in any way, shape, or form. All of this is about helping you feel free and not just looking enlightened, but really feeling it in your core. Okay, yeah, I feel the heartbreak. I feel the pain. It sits right here in my heart center, in my heart chakra, and it's debilitating at times. And it's really funny because I was watching a TikTok and someone told you that if you just pull your finger down, so if you pull your finger down over this part of your thumb crease and hold it there, and you stretch your fingers back, that stretch opens up the meridian that comes all the way down to what's called the pericardium meridian, or the heart chakra aspect. And that stretch and that pain in there shows you the pain that you've been healing. And this tip couldn't have come at a better time to help me release the burden of the pain that I was carrying in my heart. When I did this 2 days ago, I couldn't stretch these fingers out. It was agony. But it just showed me the depth of the healing that I needed to release. And so, one, doing the stretch to help me release it, and then getting deep and asking my journal, what do I need right now? What is the best thing I can do to help my friends? What is the best thing I can do to help myself? And that means sitting quietly, attuning to yourself and listening. Last night I was doing my moon membership class with the girls, and throughout it we were doing a meditation to connect to your higher self, to ask the questions that you need to ask. And my higher self, I turned around and said, what do I need right now? And this is literally what it was telling me. We need to share the real depths of what's going on in the healing journey. Okay? You awaken to this spiritual connection, to the truth, to the essence that there's more out there. And it's not magic that one thing just wakens you up and everything's perfect. And then you can communicate with all the beings out there, and you're the greatest medium in the world, and you're the best tarot reader out there, or whatever aspect you choose. Or you go do one course and all of a sudden you're a master healer and you've done all this, you're available for all this energy and giving to these people when you haven't done the inner work. And healing and energy is a felt thing. If you think that in your brokenness and your unhealed aspects of self, sending healing to someone else isn't felt in the way that it is when you're not fully aligned with who you are and in your highest power, they're felt emotions, they're felt energies. And there's a big difference between opening the channel for that healing, coming from a place of understanding of you're the channel, not the guru, not the healer. I don't claim to be the perfect healer. I facilitate healing and activation of healing in other people. I'm their mirror. I'm the aspect that gives them different perspective, that shows them different elements of themselves, that allows them to rise up to become who they're meant to be. It's all about you. It's not about me. It's not becoming another version of me. God help the world. We don't want any more of us. Okay? It's about becoming the best version of you can be, and supporting you in those down moments and helping you let go of what is. Because when we're so hurt and we're in pain, the most common thing we start doing is spell casting in the worst possible way. I'm never going to trust anybody again. I'm never going to get into a relationship again. I'm never going to do this again. I won't allow someone close to me because they'll hurt me. I'll never go through this part of my life again. I'm never going to have that again. These are bad things to say to the universe, and you certainly want to clear, cancel, delete that shit before saying the truth, right? Even though this hurts right now, I will willingly open myself up to more when I'm ready. I have to go on this healing journey. I have to feel the feels. I have to sit in this energy. I have to embrace it, embody it, and allow it to pass through. Because that's what it does. It freely passes through. But when you don't clear it out of the body, it becomes physical dis-ease. That is all your aches, all your pains, all the niggles within your body. All of those are emotional aspects that haven't freely passed through. When we look at spirituality, a lot of people think about it, oh my God, I do positive affirmations every day and everything's great. I say positive affirmations for 2 days and I'm amazing. I love myself. Everything's fantastic. Do you know it took me 3.5 years of saying I love you, Sharon, in the mirror for it to finally sink in? Because my self-esteem, my self-worth, and the lack of self-love was so embedded in me, it took that long for it to take effect. I had a beautiful, powerful healing session with a client the other day, and we were doing some EFT. And in EFT, as we were talking, as I was creating the script, she was telling me what her problems were, what were the thoughts that she had, what were the emotions that were hindering her, what was the feelings that were bogging her down. And I wrote the script based on that. When you're healing, you're going to have emotional feeling as you hit on the right chord of what exactly the problem is. So if you're trying to heal something and you don't feel any essence in the body, or you don't feel that niggle, or it doesn't sit within your physical being, you actually haven't hit on the essence of the truth of what it was. So as we're doing tapping on the different parts, we're tapping on the different meridians all around the face and everything like that. There were certain phrases where she couldn't say the words, or you couldn't get it out. The throat wouldn't work and she'd start to cry because it actually hit. But that's where persistence needs to come forth, right? Too many of us will find the thing that's the problem and then go, oh, I can't deal with that. It's too emotional. It's too much. It hurts too bad. When that's the one thing that you actually have to work on the hardest, because that's the depth of the wound. That's the sepsis that's deep inside of us that we need to suck the venom out of, to release, to set ourselves free. But we just wash it over, put an affirmation on top of it and go, oh, well, fine. And then it festers and it bubbles away and it becomes poison within our body that then creates the disease that many of us are suffering today. All physical ailments have an emotional underlying essence to it. You just have to figure out what that emotion is. And there are many different ways and tools that you can do that. This is why I got into coaching, for greater tools to help people on how to do it. Past life regression, EFT, somatic healing, understanding the traditional Chinese medicine for the meridians and the emotional blocks of where they sit in the human body. Timeline therapy to help you release things, parts integration. These are all aspects I wanted to learn in order to assist the Reiki healing. That is fantastic, but it's very surface level. It doesn't actually get to the root core. The best part about Reiki is you do it before you do deep healing and then you do it after. And it's the fulfillment of the after, of letting go of all the crap, that Reiki fills all the gaps with all the beautiful energy that you want to walk away with moving forward. But Reiki doesn't actually help you identify what the core root issues are. There are other dynamics that help you do that. We often use positive vibes to cover pain and sit there and go, oh no, it'll be all right. I'll get through this. And if I don't think about it, it won't happen. But it sits there and it becomes that trigger. And that trigger is the problem, because that's the part that eats at us. The burden on the shoulders, the heaviness of the emotions, the weight of uncertainty, the weight of the fear that stops us from reaching out and reconnecting. Life is a very emotional journey, and it's not about just coasting clear on it. And it's not about just this upward rise of graciousness and perfection and becoming this, oh my God, love and light being that has no hurdles. It is a gamut of emotion, and there are ups and downs, deep ups and downs. Go and look at anyone in any field, anywhere, of how great they have it. Yes, it's fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And then some shit will go, but they come back from that. It's about the bounce back. The spiritual aspect of it is understanding yourself, gathering tools and momentum in order to bounce back so much faster than staying in the depths of despair for long periods that change the outcome of your life and bring everything tumbling down with it. It's not allowing one thing to derail us and disrupt our whole lives, because that's what happens when you don't have backbone and tools to back you up in order to stand up and rise beyond all the ups and downs and turbulence in our life. We think ups and downs and turbulence is only about what happens to us. Most of the emotional ups and downs and turbulence is what happens to our friends and family, and the absorption of that, and the desire to want to fix it for them, to be in their place, to stop their suffering, to ease their pain. But you can only ever actually do that if you can do it for yourself too, because you can't fill from an empty cup of something that you don't have the tools or resources to do. I know what it's like to sit there and go, yeah, it'll be all right. I'll worry about it later because I've been there and I've done it. But when I actually sit and surrender and just allow it to process through, a lot of the processing and the healing journey happens very quickly in allowance. When you're in a receiving mode of letting the healing happen, a lot of it doesn't happen very quickly at all when you have all this resistance. And no, I don't need that. No, that's not hurting me. That's not going on. And especially when you go to an outside assistance for help. So you go to the healer or the reader or the spiritual guru, the doctor, the psychologist, the coach, the psychiatrist, and they're telling you what your problems are. And, oh, no, I'm not that. A lot of what's going on today is so many people are just going out there to get a diagnosis of a label to describe what their problem is, so that gives them a buffer to say, oh no, I am this way because I am of that description, label, box, whatever you want to call it. But underneath all those labels, all those boxes, all those diagnoses is emotion. It is unhealed, traumatic emotion and blockages that you have the power to change. But it takes effort. It takes a lot of personal responsibility, insights into self, a lot of deep emotional uncovering, and deep truth and trust of self. Because if you can't be honest with yourself when somebody else comes to tell you what the problem is, your first reaction is going to be denial. And usually that denial comes with a trigger or a pain in the body of like, no, that's not it. And you feel the ache within and you just deny it. That's part of the spiritual bypassing, not acknowledging where your body is communicating with you, where your soul is communicating with you, not listening to the inner voice that wants to guide your way, of just believing you don't deserve any better. The real works of healing happen in the quietest moments of all. As you sit down with your journal, as you become in a meditative space to ask the right questions of your higher self, of the universe, to gain clarity, as you do the breath work, as you breathe and allow oxygen to fill your body and repair your cells, as you give or receive Reiki healing. These are all silent, very mindful processes that create the deeper healing if you let yourself come and receive it. But you can go to a healer, and if you're not ready to fully let go of what the problem is, they can work for hours and hours, because I've been there. The first time I went to a kinesiologist was to help me remove the aspects of the abuse that I suffered as a child. And when they tried to remove it, my soul considered it friendly. And we didn't want to let this aspect go because it was so ingrained inside of me that I was used to it. I labeled it a friend when it was torment. And it took hours and hours for me to come to terms that I wouldn't be empty without it. Because we normalize a lot of what's going on in order to survive. And therefore we make friends with things that happen to us so that we don't feel the true essence and power of what it's doing to us. And this creates all sorts of discomfort, all sorts of hardship, and all sorts of traumatic elements and events within our body. Throughout my life, there have been so many moments where I've had diseases or problems, and I go to the doctor and say that I'm having this issue, and they come back and go, no, your tests are all clear, and it's not showing up live to give you an essence of what it is. And you go for blood tests, and you go for specialist tests, and you spend all this money for them to come back and go, well, there's nothing physically wrong with you, but I have this pain or I have this limitation. I lost the use of my arm for months, couldn't use my shoulder properly at all. And in it, no one knew what it was. When they finally did give me a diagnosis, I got, no, I'm not having that. And then all of a sudden it started to get better. The mind has an amazing capacity to heal itself through thought alone. What you choose to think about, what you choose to do with your thoughts, and how you feed your brain matters in your whole body and your whole spiritual existence. So go and find reliable resources. Go and read deep books. Go and do the practice work. To become truly spiritual and step up, you need to go and sit in circle and learn from other people. Do the work. Spend the time really getting to know it all. Practice the skills before you can master them. Doing one course and going, oh my God, I had this perfect card reading, and all of a sudden I have 30 years experience of it, doesn't work that way. But please be honest and truthful with yourself about your own experience, about your own gifts and how they've shown up. There are so many people out there that turn around and say, I have all these years of experience. I went to a reader once, and I was very young and I didn't understand much difference. And she tried telling me that she'd been doing this for 25 years. I'm like, aren't you like 30? Yeah. And I'm like, so you've been professionally reading since you were 5 years old? People lie about their gifts, about their skills, about their connection. I've been connected to spirit since I was 2 years old. I've known all about it and had all aspects of it. And I started reading the tarot at 16. I started professionally doing this at 40 when I opened my business. I always did it for fun and did all the lessons and learned different things throughout those years. But it's only now that I start really highlighting that I do have 35 years experience as a reader, and I got my Reiki back in 2008. So 17 years, or yes, about 17 years now of being the healer. I've had these gifts all my life, but I don't claim that. If you ask me, I've only been professionally reading for 12 years because that's when I started a business to do it in a professional aspect. Got the insurance, did all the things right. And in that 12 years, I have done more courses, more up-leveling, more healing, more study, more growth than ever before, because that's what I chose to do to make it my passion. So be wary of going to find someone and they tell you that, oh my God, I become a Reiki 1 or Reiki 2 today, and I'm the best Reiki healer ever, and I have magic hands, when they don't have experience of it. Or that I have all this experience and I haven't been doing it for longevity. If you ask me about being a coach, I had coaching aspects that I've been doing for about 4 or 5 years, but I only truly got my certification last year. I'm open about that, honest about that. But backing behind my certification is all my history of crystal healing, Reiki healing, angelic Reiki. I've understood and been able to tap into kinesiology without the experience and without the essences of it for many years. I got the certification to satisfy other people. My way of communicating is very different to many people, as spirit just tell me where different things are. And I know exactly when we hit on the core essence of the problem because of the way I feel within my body. It's different for each and every practitioner, every person. And these are nuances as you open up spiritually that you need to come to understand. What is the way you receive your information? What is the way you find true clarity? What is the way you know exactly when you've hit the right element of it? Don't get me wrong, there are new beginners out there who have amazing capacity because they're just activating things within them. But that has to build, and through doing one course or one element is not going to be enough. It's through the practice, the hands-on experience of delivering it to the people over time that you'll gain and become the best version of the healer or the reader or the deliverer that you can be. But trust me, when you step into this field, the one thing that you do want to face is all your own insecurities and all your own problems, because every client that comes to you is going to be a mirror of who you are or who you were. And if you haven't healed those layers for yourself, they are going to just mirror them up, raise them up, and smack you in the face with them so that you have no choice but to open up and do your own healing. Healing is raw, it's messy, it's human. One of the greatest things that I ever learned for healing and the most freeing aspect of it was primal screaming. Sometimes you just got to yell and scream and chuck a tantrum like a 2-year-old. If I have kinetic energy stuck in my body so hard, I go get in my car and just put on music, turn it up really loud, drive around and sing at the top of my voice. Sometimes I just sit there and scream at the loudest possible decibel that I can. And it's so freeing for the throat chakra, especially. You have a tantrum, you have a hissy fit, you act like a 2-year-old. Let it out. Don't hold it in. Yes, let it be messy. Let it show up in tears and sobbing and doing whatever you need to do. All of this problem with emotion in our body is it's kinetic and it has to find a way out. If you ever do any somatic healing, there's a lady called the Somatic Witch, I think it is, or there's a lady on TikTok that I found, and she teaches you to lie on the bed and open your thighs and bring them up, and you can see anything that's trapped in your hip space. As I said, this simple stretch of the pericardium meridian that I learned the other day, I just like to test things and go, oh yeah, that can't work. And the pain that I felt, like, oh, yeah. And the funny part was I was clearing the heart chakra because I've been playing my heart singing bowl for a few days. And in doing it, the pain just disappeared from that simple stretch to open up the meridian, because that's when I was able to surrender and release it and replace it with love, understanding, and acceptance. Always remember, as you do the healing layers and you get rid of the old, you have to replace it with the new. You can't leave it as an empty space, because out of habit, you will go and refill it with what it was before. Always know that when you're authentic, other people can feel how real it is. They can tell when you're talking shit out your ass. I'm a bullshit man. I have a little guide and he's an Arcturian. He's a little blue man. He's about 4 foot tall. His favorite word to me is bullshit. So when people are telling you all this thing and when I listen to things, if you're telling me a process and all I hear is bullshit, I don't even listen to it and don't try it. But if they go, oh, try this out, and I test things, I test and measure everything. But that's how I become authentic. I don't like to teach anything that I haven't tried for myself. And I won't just test it on myself. I'll go and test it on 1 or 2 of my friends and students first. That's how I know that I can then become it and make it a usable tool. The other thing about being truly authentic, it's really magnetic and you find yourself surrounded with other people. That's how you create circle. That's how you create community. That's how you bring others fully aligned with your mission and purpose together so that you can rise up and all become something together. but it's also the safest place that you'll find, because you stop comparing yourself to others and going, oh my God, they're so great because they do it that way. That's just their way. And you're willing to step back, take a deep step out of ego and let someone else come along and share the way they do it. Because perception is everything. In all of this, the other message that I want to teach people is never have one guide, one teacher, or one guru and only ever do it their way. Go and find multiple masters, because not one person knows everything. I have a different person I learn healing from, a different person I learn crystal healing from, a different person I learn coaching from, a different person I learn spiritual development from, a different person I learn card reading from. You need all these different aspects to bring them all together to become what you are. And I never claim to be the master of anything, because I'm not God, right? I don't have all the answers. I know the ways that I've done it and I can share those aspects, but mostly I don't even share the way that I do things. I just explain how it can come to help you identify how you receive it, because it's up to you of how you become who you're meant to be, not who you become who I think you're meant to be. I actually don't think anyone's meant to be anything. I just encourage you to uncover it for yourself. Because when I decide what it is you're meant to be, that's taking away your own inner power. And I endeavor my best never to do that. Yes, I want to guide you and help you lead to become who you're meant to be, but I'm never going to take that decision off you. It's not my place. Okay, life isn't meant to be perfect. It is meant to be teaching, eventful, sometimes catastrophic. And I've been through the catastrophes, right? And if you are unfortunately going through that hardship right now, my heart goes out to you. But just trust, in time, this will be a memory. It will be something that you get over, and time does heal all wounds. But it can only do that if you let it, because after time, you have a different perception of what was. And always remember that the past, literally 2 minutes ago, is gone and you can't change it. You can only grow and evolve from it. You use it as a springboard for moving forward, never to try and pull yourself backwards. So if you're going through hardship, show up in your flaws, in your tears, in your laughter, in the whole messy puddle. Find that friend, that confidant, that person who can take you, warts and all, who will accept all the silly parts of you, who won't try and bubble you and put you in a pigeonhole, or who isn't there for the messy parts of you. Stop comparing yourself to other people and stop trying to be anybody else. For you are you, unique, beautiful, and exactly who you're meant to be. Share your realness. You always think you're the only one going through this. One of the reasons I love social media so much is you'll be going through something and then you go and read a post of someone, oh my God, they get it. That's exactly what I needed to hear right in this moment in order to feel better. Share your healing journey, share your stories, share the essences of yourself. Ask for assistance. You cannot receive help if you don't ask for it first. Because of your free will, we can't go and give you what you want or help you beyond the way that you can help yourself unless you actually do ask for it and give permission. Well, I certainly can't, because that's my ethical boundary. If you're ever thinking that you're not spiritual enough or not healed enough or not enlightened enough, just take a deep breath. It's usually because you are more real than the others. And you know that it takes time. It just means you need more practice. Whether that's self-practice, group practice, or finding a tribe of like-minded people that help you become all you're meant to be, that's a choice that's up to you. But always stay grounded and be authentic in self. There are a lot of shortcuts out there promoted that just do this one thing. Go buy this one thing. And trust me, I've fallen for most of them. I've bought so many things that this one thing will fix all your problems, and they never do. I usually buy them to try and see what they're trying to teach me and work out if it does. And as I said, I test and measure everything. And trust me, a lot of people out there are famous, are rich because they're great sellers and great marketers, and they have this one thing that will make your life different, and they sell it to people, but it never actually makes change. I never make promises like that. When I talk about coaching and healing, it's hard, it's heavy, and you have to do the work. I can't do it for you. I can lead your way. I can guide you towards it. I can support you through it and cheerlead your ass all the way. But I can't do the physical work for you. You have to show up for self. Nobody else can do it for you. When you're feeling overwhelmed and ungrounded, always sit in silence, right? Unfollow the noise. Take deep breaths, go into a mini minor meditation. Just breathe, just be, and ask yourself, what do I need the most right now in this moment? And listen. Sometimes you might need to get out a journal and write it down. Other times you can just communicate with your higher self and ask them, what do I need right now in this moment? You're going to have thoughts, you're going to have feelings, you're going to see something. Just trust it and then give it to yourself. As I speak, as I say this, my throat is tightening up a little bit. And as I've asked, what do I need right now? It's telling me I need water. Okay. So I'm going to go and get a drink of water after this podcast. Pay attention and listen. Your body knows exactly what it is it wants. Right? Reclaim your own rituals. Find things that work for you. I love journaling. I have half a dozen friends that hate it. Do I judge them for it? No, it's my process. It works for me. If you can't journal, talk it through. Have the conversation in your mind, but you have to find some way to process it out. Sometimes some people can just look at it, analyze it, and do it all in their head, and they don't have to write it on paper. I like the paper aspect because it gives me greater clarity, but you find out what works for you. Sometimes it might require just light a candle, staring into the flame, allowing the meditative process to send you on that journey through the realms. Deep meditation, guided meditation, quietness, breath work, EFT, all of these different aspects can give you the guidance that you need. My other favorite aspect to teach people is just to take a quiet moment, pull out your favorite deck of cards, knock on it 3 times, shuffle it up and ask, what do I need to know right now? What is most important for my soul? And take the guidance from that. Don't film it. Don't make it an essence of being the show pony, put it out there. Your inner healing journey, the deep parts of it, is all about you. You just need to feel it, be present with it, coexist with it, and then allow it to pass through. Surrender it, release it, and let it go. And if you're struggling to let it go, just get out the Let It Go song and it will do all the work for you. Okay? Through times of pain, don't go searching for that high vibe feeling. Just surrender, cry, be angry, go through the stages of grief, through the stages of growth, through the emotional scale in itself. Work your way back to it, but don't go from despair to joy and bypass all the bits in the middle. Allow it all to move through the body. Because when you suppress it, it becomes that ache, that sore shoulder, that problem, that knee that hurts, that fall. And underneath it all, when you get really stuck, come back and ask yourself, why? Why did I start this journey? Or the most basic question of all, what does spirituality mean to me? Not what I've been told what it is, not what anybody else says it is. What does it mean for you? Come back to your heart space. Bring it back to your heart. Trust your intuition. Okay, listen to your own inner guidance system, not somebody else's version of it. Anybody out there saying this is the only way to do life, please unfollow them and leave them behind, because they're leading you up a garden trail that will never lead you anywhere. And there's no instant fix for anything, I'm sorry to say. There is no one little, just do this one thing and everything will change in your life, whether it's about riches, money problems, anything like that. If you have deep-seated beliefs, you can go do the rituals and do all the candle lighting, burning all the bay leaves, or doing whatever you need to boost abundance, and you will get short-term gratification. Yes, they work in that instant, but they're not long-term. You have to rewrite those beliefs, reprogram yourself, and elevate your energy to a deserving level of the true type of abundance that you want. But then that is when the greater change will come for you. Okay. I just want to give you some reflections on this episode. Healing is not always glamorous. It doesn't fit into the perfect quote or a 30-second ritual. And it's certainly not a 30-second reel. Oh my God, I did this one thing and everything's perfect. That's just outside. Can't think of the word that I want to tell you about it, but it's just the surface level stuff. Go and look at anyone that's been through a spiritual journey. They will tell you the depths of despair or the hole that they've climbed out of. Every one of us has done it. And it all starts with the deepest level of forgiveness to self, of understanding who you are, why you chose this journey, why you went through the things you did, and how you're becoming who you are meant to be. It's in those quiet moments where you choose yourself and peace over the perfection of life. It's not all glamorous. It's not all beauty. And we all don't show up in these beautiful caftans and look at me pretty things. And it's not perfect like that. There are deep highs and there are even deeper troughs. But it's about how we elevate and come back into ourselves, learn and embrace those lessons to rise up and to become even better than before. Okay? We all go through it. And trust me, if you think that you're riding on this high-flying kite and nothing can disturb you, don't ever tempt God to show you better. Because trust me, your higher self that's connected to God's source. And if you go, everything's perfect, nothing can knock me off this perch, there's no one that can bring me down, nothing you can say or do to me will ever upset me, and I'll never get down in the depths of despair, don't tempt fate, for crying out loud. Because something will come that will knock you on your ass. Okay, spirituality is not a fly-by-the-night sort of thing that you show up for in the moments when you're in front of the camera. It is an 24/7 existence. It's an element of self, of looking at things through that greater wisdom all the time, not just when you're in front of a camera, not just when you're putting on a show, not when you're in public, it's all the time. And it's doing that inner work, having those inner conversations and uplifting your own self, going back to the rituals, the tools, the practices. Ho'oponopono and EFT are something that I do practically every week. I like to say every day, but I'm not that focused on it. I do a lot of things every single day, but I'm not regimented and rigid in doing this. At the beginning, certainly I did it religiously, but I've learned to be more flexible with it. And that's how real authenticity shows up. I did all the processes in the beginning when I was learning because that's the way that I teach it. But then you peter off and you slow down. There were two things that I never, ever go by without asking each day is, how can I be of service? What can I do to show up? What is the element of self that I need to be? What do I need? And the second one is, what is this aspect teaching me? As I said, for the last 2 days, I've been very quiet, helping energetically support some friends going through some very hard processes. And it hurts me because I'd also had this essence of knowing something wasn't right. I just didn't know where, why, or how. But I send love, I send peace, and I give myself time. And in that, it's all about you and what you and your soul needs. Don't ever let anybody else tell you what that is. You can only find it within your own heart space, within the quietness of yourself, your connection, and your life. So do the inner work. Find yourself. Do the healing. Ask your body and your soul, what do you need today? Listen, pay attention, and then, for God's sake, please give it to it. I'm a classic for, I ask myself, what do I need? It's telling me water. My classic then would be to go not have any water. But trust me, I'm going to drink some water. You have to give yourself what you need when you ask for it. I hope this episode has landed for you and help you move beyond the surface level of living and start living in your truth. If you're stuck and you're unsure how to do this, my program Shine with Shaz will take you through all the processes, all the layers, all the levels to help you heal, to come to understand all the elements of who you are. It is a 13-week journey that is there to heal your heart, build your confidence, and reconnect you to your light, your intuition, and find that inner confidence. But it's a real kind of healing. It's not a filter kind of healing. There are aspects of it that are deep, that are dark, that are hurtful. But in it, it's about releasing and shedding anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Healing doesn't need an audience. It is something done in private. This is a group program because that gives you other people to support. And it's up to you how much you share publicly or personally, because it's all about you. Remember, you're not broken. You're just remembering who you are. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I love to hear feedback. Please message me anytime. Reach out for a 30-minute clarity call if you want to chat, if you want some processes and you're not sure what to do, or just to have someone to chat to. Anytime at all. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.